Hey guys, Corey Inscoe here with Bill Kiser. Langston didn't make it this week, so it's just the two of us holding it down. We'll see how we can do here. Got a lot to talk about with playoffs. Private schools have been playing playoffs. They started last week. They're in the second round now. So for some, it was the championship game. We'll talk about those first. Let's talk about Davidson Day. They're playing Hickory Grove in the second round. They're the Division II playoffs. They're the defending state champions. Do you think they make it back to the championship this week?
Yes, and it possibly sets up a rematch of their semifinal meeting last year against Harrell's Christian. Remember that game? That turned out to be a basketball game type of a score.
104-80, if I remember correctly, was the final score. That is a basketball score.
Yeah, that was a basketball score. It was a 3-hour game. Unbelievable offense, no defense.
No defense. Yeah, and then in Division I, we've got Charlotte Christian. They're also the defending state champions, looking to win their second straight for the first time in school history. They'll play Charlotte Latin. Obviously, these teams are in the same conference they met earlier in the season. Latin kind of dug themselves in a hole early in that game. Played even with them for the rest of the game, pretty much, but just could never overcome that hole. I really think Christian wins this one again. They've just got so many talented players. They got a big offensive line, which is rare to see in a private school. I think they repeat here.
Christian again, but Latin will learn from the last time.
They're young. They've got a lot of talent. They're young. We'll see what they can do next year. We'll see if the McNulty's come back there. In Division III, we've got a rematch for the championship there. Southlake Christian playing Victory Christian. Have you seen that one?
Southlake was the number 1 seed last year. They're coming in as number 1 seed again this year, but it's a different team, more experienced team. Last year they had a lot of freshmen, including that heralded running back, Robert Washington. This year, they've got that year under their belt. I think they're hungrier for it. I think they bust through, win the title.
I'm with you on that one. I totally agree. And then we've got the public school brackets. They came out this week. Just looking over, what was the first game that really jumped out to you in the brackets?
A long-time playoff rivalry. Kannapolis Brown versus Charlotte Catholic at Catholic. Those two, back when they were both playing the 3A level, usually you would see come semifinals or regional final, those were the two teams playing for it. Usually came out Catholic's way. Who knows what will happen now that they're playing at the 4A level?
Yeah, the road out of the West usually comes through one of those two teams, and that's always a fun game because they're two traditional power teams. Mm-hmm. They've got huge fan bases. Everybody's going to come out there for that game. It's always fun to watch. That should be a good one to watch. I think Catholic still takes that one. The Hoods look really strong. They've been on a roll here in the conference and come through the playoffs.
Catholic Hood is just a once in a lifetime player.
Yep.
What more can be said?
Absolutely. And then in the 4AA, the one that jumped out to me was seeing Independence has to go play Huff. And what jumped out to me was the fact that that game against Butler, that 1 point made a huge difference in where Independence ended up in the playoffs. So they win that game, they're the top seed because they had the tiebreaker over Rocky River. They're top seed coming out of the conference. Because they lose that game, though, now they were the fourth seed out of that conference. They had to go on the road and play Huff, a team that's already beaten this year. I hate to see two teams that could both make runs in the playoffs have to play in the first round and one of them has to lose. But I'm actually going to pick Independence in the upset here. They've lost 3 games by 1 point. They've been a lot of close games and haven't gotten over that hump. I think they'll do it this week. I think they win that game.
Since they're playing at Huff, I say Huff because one of those 1 point games was Huff, and it kind of bothers me that Independence has had so many 1 point losses, and it's come down literally to an extra point missed here and there. A team that that can happen once or twice, but 3 times, I don't know, that kind of bothers me a little bit.
I hear you. Big week of games this week. We'll be back to talk about them next week. Hopefully we'll have Langston back here to talk with us. We'll see you then.
If not, we've got Minikamba.